Somebody had asked me about some practice drawings to be able to use. There's a few in the book. I ran across this one, so I'm going to post this one on the Blackboard site with this video so you can download it. And what I'm going to do is just a side-by-side practice drawing. So I'm going to copy this drawing and make a duplicate of it over here. Now, of course, I could just copy it, but this is just a drawing exercise. So we'll start with looking at our units, making sure it's actually going to be the same as our default or our template, decimal, 0, everything looks good, and just say okay. So we're working in inches. So let's start with this outer circle. It says a radius of 0.8. So I'm going to draw mine in a little different color so it'll show up. I'm going to put a little more thickness on the line weight. I'm going to make sure I'm in the part level. And we'll go to our circle tool, and I can see I'm locked in right there, so I can actually pull that across so I can line it right up. Left click, and we have a radius of 0.8. Let's see if this works. Hey, doesn't look like I'm seeing my line thickness, so there I'm going to click that on. Inside that one we have a diameter of 1. So let's go with that circle again. Now watch, I can just hit the enter key and it remembers my last command. I can snap to the center point. Had a diameter of 1, so I'm just going to hit 0.5 for a radius. Bada bing. And then we've got a smaller circle over here that has, they didn't put a diameter here, so let's measure it. Here's our measure tool. I can measure distance. So from this corner to this corner is 0.25, so it's a 1/4 inch hole. Shame on them for not putting it in there. You'll notice too that, see how this gets kind of, this is a round and it's kind of chunky. If we right click and go to options and go to our drafting display, arcs and circle smoothness, change this from 100 to 1000. Now you can see this gives us a much smoother looking circle. So I'm just being fussy. Circle tool again. This time we'll start in the center, let it settle. We're going over 1.3, so 1.3, enter, and our diameter is going to be 0.125. Looks closer, but I'm going to assume it's right. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. I could just mirror it, but 1.3, that's 0.125 for radius. Now the next part of this is we're going to start using our trim tools and our tangent. So we're going to make sure that our tangent is turned on. We want to make sure we have that as an O snap. So you want to make sure that these match up. Everything else looks good. So take your circle tool again, and this one has a radius of 0.5. So I'm just going to draw a circle here at 0.5. Okay, draw another circle, just hit enter, 0.5. And now we connect these with straight lines. So if I hit my line tool, I want to go to I'm going to lock that on a tangent. So take off my center. Let's just leave tangent. See what happens. There it is. So now we can just go bing to bing, because the only thing I've got it locked to is tangent. Hit escape, hit enter, tangent to tangent, hit escape, and enter, tangent to tangent, escape, enter, and tangent to tangent, escape, enter. Okay? Doesn't look quite the same. So let's just do our trim tool. I'm going to turn my snaps back on. Center, midpoint, endpoint, intersection, perpendicular. Okay, I kind of cheated there, but now TR for trim. Hit enter. I want to trim this. I want to trim this. I want to trim this, and I want to trim this. So it finds those endpoints and trims that out. So far we're looking pretty good here. All right. So now let's put some dimensions in here. So I'm going to go to my dimension level. I'm going to change this to my light blue, and let's go check our dimension settings right here. And we'll go to annotation, standard dimensions. Let's see if we've got any. We've got some mechanical stuff here that they've set up in this drawing, so we'll use that one. Let's modify it. Symbols and arrows, center mark. Let's put this in at 0.2. And text. Color by layer, text style. That's all good. Let's go with text color blue just to make sure. Don't want to fill. And our lines will be cyan and cyan. Fit. We got inches at the end, so primary units we'll just match there, so we don't need that inch mark on the end. If yours is like this, let's just see what it looks like. Set as current, close. So now let's do a linear dimension from this center point to this center point at 1.3. Probably can just go with the by layer. Do that one again. Three. Hit enter, and we're going to go from this center point to this center point at 2.6. We have a radius for this one at radius 0.5. Now this has 2 decimal places, so if we go back to our annotation properties for mechanical and modify that, we can change this now to 2 decimal places. And let's make our text just a little smaller, 0.18. Hit OK and close. It looks better. So now we'll do our radius on this circle. Bring that out. Sometimes you can kind of line these up so they look a little neater. And we've got a diameter dimension for this one. Pull that one this way. And dimension center, we'll just put a center mark on that one so it kind of matches what we have over here. Okay? We'll go back to our part, change it back to yellow again. We can see that we have this front elevation of this piece. So this is a cylinder that sticks straight up. It's got some holes drilled through it. So to do this, let's draw some construction lines. And you don't need to get all wanky on. Just draw these straight down. Don't worry that it's touching the ends, and hit enter, and we're going to go straight down here. escape, enter. I'm just hitting enter just to repeat my drawing. Hit escape, enter, bring that across, escape, enter, bring this line across, escape, enter. We're going to come up here and find that edge. Let's just check off nearest. Find it. There, we'll pull that down. And enter. Pull that one down. Good storm weather drawing. Let's see, enter. And one more. Okay. So I know, looks foolish, right? Now let's trim these. And so we'll trim the bottom first. So I'm just going to type TR, enter, enter. We'll trim this to and this, this, and this, 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 and this, 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 this. And we can trim this, and this, and this. And hold down my shift key, trim that to this, not to that. Trim that off. That we don't need. Actually, I don't want you to trim that. Okay. Makes sense. Hit escape. And then we can just left click on these lines that we don't need anymore. Oops. That one you can just keep left clicking until you get all the lines you don't want anymore. And hit your delete key or erase them. Now, some of these lines are dashed, so I'm going to change this back to the cyan color, or actually I use green. We're going to put a hidden line in. Now if you don't have a line that shows hidden or phantom, just left click here and go to load, and you can go down and find, there's a dashed line. Hit OK, and there it shows up. It's not already there. So we're going to say we want our hidden line, and I want this to be a little thinner on the screen anyway. So if I select this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and just come up here and say I want to change you to green, and I want you to be hidden, and I want you to be thinner. 0.18, hit escape, just like that. So these holes go all the way through. What I will probably want to do now is I'd like to put in some center lines. I don't have a center line, so I'm just going to hit OK. I want to load, and then we want center line right there. Hit OK. Hit OK again. Now I have a center line. We're going to change our color to the light blue, and I'm just going to take my line tool starting right here. I'm just going to pull this center line down, hit escape, enter, pull this center line down, and I can do a little making sure they're exactly the same length. So you just go over, kiss this one, bring it level back over, hit enter, and then what we want to do is just select this and bring this down until it's about even back up to the top. Same with this one and this one. I can come over and kiss this and bring it back. Now you notice the scale of this isn't enough to make the gap go in there. So if I select all of these, and I'm going to type LTSCALE, and I want to probably go, it's at 0.5 right now. Let's go 0.3. That's better. And now you see we get these better gaps in our line styles. So that's not too bad. Now, the next thing I want to show you, there's our layout, our viewport, okay? And you can see if I'm in model space, I can move over and put my view in here. It doesn't fit very good in this viewport. Now this is at full scale, so it's 1:1, I would say. We say 1:1 is full. Nope, that fits a little bit better. So that's actually a full size on an 8.5 by 11. But what about my title block that we created? If we just right click on this tab down here and say from template I want to bring in a title block, and we'll just go back here, and there's my lab, there's my drawing, and it has a title block on it. Okay, just double click on that. Yours may be looking for DWT, but I want my title block letter sheet, which is there. I believe that's the one I want, and we'll just hit OK. Now you look down here at the bottom, there's title block. Cool. I'll double click my mouse. I don't see my part here, so I'm going to take my insert and I'm going to create a viewport. Remember where to find it. View, home. No, it's right here. Model viewports. Layout. There we go. It's under layout. So we got a rectangular viewport, but I can also put in a polygonal, so it'll work around the outside of my title block frame at the bottom, so I get the most use of my space. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to let it snap to these corners all the way around. And there it is. Now I've got a viewport. Now if I take this viewport and I go back to my paper space and I say, okay, I want that to be at 1:1 full scale. I'm going to move this over. I'll leave the piece of that one just so you can see what it looks like. And that looks okay. Leave that just the way it is. I'm going to select model or paper. So now I can just move this around, zoom in and out. The paper allows you to do stuff without. So if I go back to my model, I want to move this stuff out of the way. Just click move, pull it over here. So when I go back to my title block, the other part of that disappears. So we have this. If I wanted to print this out now, it's yellow and blue and it's all kind of crazy. So let's go to our right click on our letter block and we're going to say Page Setup Manager. And we're going to say we want to modify this. I want to add a pen table to it. We created one before, but I want to modify this one. So anytime I see the color red, I want it to go out as black with a line weight of 0.3. Anytime I see the color yellow, I want you to go out as black, 0.13. Color green, will you come out as black, and my line weight will be 0.09. Color 4 will be black with a line weight of 0.05. And in the event we ever use color, well, let's go color blue, we'll use black, and we want that one to be line weight 0. And then we have color 6. Now color 6, we're actually gonna, whoops, not object color, I'm gonna select a color, and I want it to be just a dark gray. So it's gonna show up like a pencil, very light pencil with line weight 0. So let's say save and close. I want to print this out as a, let's see what we have. We'll go with an Adobe PDF for this. And now let's preview it. So there's a preview of my drawing. You can see my line weights are nice and crisp and neat and easy. My project is right there with my family. I didn't change anything, so if I like it, I can say good. If not, we can go over here. So let's just say OK and close it. Now if I want to change my title block, I can change this. So I'm going to say, I'll call it bracket. Sheet number will be M01. We'll put it down as Bangor. Scale is full, drawn by, checked by CJ, check my own drawings, 128 will be the date, and hit apply. So now my title block's been updated, my scale is all updated. If I right click now and just say plot, it's going to ask me, it's going to plot to an Adobe PDF. I just say OK, and I'll put this in my assignments. I'm not sure what this is. Ortho bracket title block letter. I'll just call it ortho bracket PDF. Say save. And it'll actually open up my bracket. It actually shows it a little bit better now. If we take our document and we rotate it counterclockwise, if I were to print this out now, we get this this nice crisp line weight. You can kind of check it over, and the more you look at it, the better you can see that line weight. If you print this out, it'll actually look pretty cool. So there it is, nice little practice drawing that you can use. So I will upload that along with this video so that you can use this as a practice drawing. There's a couple neat points about being able to import your template as a title block and being able to update it. I'm going to do another video, kind of a one-time thing, but I will do the title blocks. I know some people had some issues with getting their title block to show up correctly, so I want to make sure that we get that taken care of. Other than that, we should be good, so I'll sign off and let you have at it.